arrest. And the sheriff can say, you know what? You know, you got 2 children to raise. So we're going to just ignore the fact that you have a warrant for kidnapping a child that led to his murder. Now, in her 80s, and most recently living in North Carolina, Carolyn Bryant has not commented publicly on calls for her prosecution. But Terry Watts said the Till family believes the warrant accusing Carolyn Bryant of kidnapping amounts to new evidence. This is what the state of Mississippi needs to go ahead, she said. So let's go to the DA. Let me bring you to the DA, Dwayne Richardson. Now, Dwayne, he ain't going to do a damn thing. I guarantee you that. So let's go to the office that would prosecute the case. So they have declined to comment on the warrant. Declined to comment, not even add words to it, but cited a December report about the Till case from the Justice Department that said no prosecution was possible. Now remember, the Justice Department said this under the old statute, not the new evidence presented to the DA's office. Contacted by the AP on Wednesday, the county sheriff, currently Ricky Banks, said, and I quote, "This is the first time I've known about a warrant." Banks, who was 7 years old until was killed, said, and I quote, "Nothing was said about a warrant when a former district attorney investigated the case 5 or 6 years ago. I will see if I can get a copy of the warrant and get with the DA and get their opinion on it." Well, let's just talk about it. I mean, listen, we need to have a conversation. Can we all pray together? There's more. If the warrant can still be served, according to the sheriff, he would have to then, what? If the warrant can be served, the sheriff needs to talk to law enforcement officers in the state where Carolyn Bryant resides. Well, once again, another conversation. So the sheriff has literally said, if it's a warrant that I can actually serve, if I can arrest her legally, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to talk to the law enforcement officers in the state that she lives in, make sure it's okay. What in the hell? This is why many people don't like the police. They don't like the criminal justice system. Rightfully so. It takes this much. All of these conversations, even if it's legal for you to do, even if you're mandated by the warrant to do so, all of a sudden we need to have conversations rather than justice. So let's go to the law. Okay? Here's what the law says in Mississippi. Arrest warrants can go stale. So this is a stale arrest warrant. That is permissible due to the passage of time and changing circumstances. And one from 1955 almost certainly wouldn't pass muster before a court, even if a sheriff agreed to serve it, said Ronald J. Reichlack, a law professor at the University of Mississippi. But this is a big one. With any new evidence, see why it's important that the kidnapping dynamic is part of it. With any new evidence, the original arrest warrant, absolutely, according to the professor of law, could be an important stepping stone toward establishing probable cause for a new prosecution, a new arrest, a new indictment, according to the law professor. You think they're going to do something? No. Now, let me remind everyone, there are war crimes, war criminals who committed those war crimes many, many decades ago. When governments catch up with them, it doesn't matter how old they are, they go to jail. All right? This was a heinous crime against a child. There should be no grace allocated just because, hey, guys, it happened a long time ago. Jessica, thoughts on this?
Yeah, we're already seeing this narrative get pushed, that this was so long ago, you're digging up things from the past. This is not a double jeopardy scenario. Let's think about what would have happened if that warrant was served and she was arrested. Do we think that a jury in Mississippi at that point in time, in 1955, would have found her guilty? Maybe not. And what got in the way of that was white supremacist people serving in law enforcement. They have gotten in the way of justice for all of these years. And when people took justice into their own hands, now we're finally seeing something get done about it. So it's not digging up an old case from the past. Justice has been delayed because people who are white supremacists have been serving in law enforcement for all of these years. And let's also revisit the extremely racist connotation of the statement for why the warrant wasn't served, because a white woman needed to be home with her kids. Right now, we are seeing a lot of narratives on the right wing about wanting to prevent abortions because they are unhappy with the racial makeup of this country, protecting white women having babies. Think about Emmett Till. Emmett Till was also a child. His life wasn't worth protecting. They didn't serve this warrant because they didn't want to get in the way of her mothering her kids. Again, we see the same racism of the 1950s, even prevalent today. And if we want to do anything to bring a little bit more legitimacy to the criminal justice system in the United States, they should absolutely prosecute this case today because it is one of the most significant cases of injustice in our country.
Yes. Very well said. I agree.
Man, these cases are